Ladies and gentlemen, the next session is about the role of the GAIA X Association and the interaction with members, with hubs and with communities. It's a pleasure for me to welcome from Paris, Mr. Olivier Senaud, Digital Innovation and Public Affairs Officer at Doka Post and member of the Interim Bureau of GAIA X SBL, and Mr. Gerd Hoppe, member of the Management Backhoff Automation. He's located nearby Bielefeld in the north of Germany. Welcome, Mr. Senaud and Mr. Hoppe.
Thank you very much, Carmen, and good afternoon, everybody. So this short session is to give you some answer on the theme of organization and relationship between the association and its ecosystem. Once one more, and to make the link with the organization, the picture of GAIA X. The block component in green in the middle with IAM, Sovereign Data Exchange, Federated Catalog, and Compliance represent the key services to make this project operational and enable the emergence of the entire infrastructure. At the bottom, in red, it's the level of federated infrastructure with network and interconnection providers, cloud solution providers, high-performance computing, HPC, and industry-specific clouds and edge system. Here, mechanisms are developed to find, combine, and connect the services to participating providers to enable a user-friendly infrastructure ecosystem. And at the top of the figure, in blue, the user and data ecosystem. That is the ultimate goal of GAIA X with a data space according to the EU data strategy. It is at this level that the new business could be created and managed on the basis of the infrastructure such as artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, or large-scale data market, and all new business born from the data. Now the link with the association and this organization. Next slide. The association has nothing technical. Could you pass to the next slide, Gerd, please?
I can.
The association has...
Oh, yeah, here. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Next slide.
Thank you. So the association has nothing technical, but it's only organized the ecosystem. The board of directors of the association has basically two advisory boards and two committees. The government advisory board allows the states and the European Commission to have a vision of the progress of the work, but also to make some suggestions to the board of directors. The General Advisory Board, representative of the public, science, user association, company, and administration are members of this advisory board. At least policy and technical committee. The committees make it possible to decide on two essential and founding elements of the association. Firstly, the policy governing both the technical and infrastructure and the associated data and software. This policy ensures that GAIA X base its development on European values. Finally, the technical committee ensures the coherence of the developments carried out by the working group. Let's make now a focus on the GAIA X hubs. They drive the implementation. EU data space requires technical and semantic interoperability of the different data spaces. Hubs drive implementation as part of the remit. This includes defining ontology that are already on, for example, by existing associations like Industry 4.0. Hubs are cornerstones of GAIA X. They are organized by user, for user, in order to build use case and data space at the European level. And this is very important because the hub have a national vocation, but in a European environment for data space. Let's take an example. The German hubs manage the Industry 4.0 data space, which include all European manufacturers, just as the French hub manage the energy data space, which also include all the European energy companies. And the relationship between the hubs and the association is very clear. The hub participants are committed to the GAIA X association and its works process, but they are not subsidiary of the association. The association gives priority to certain areas based on the intensive cooperation with the hub. So at least we have three main ways to be part of the GAIA X. Of course, becoming a member of the association, and the adhesion will reopen by January 2021. Also becoming a member of the regional hub. And last but not least, being part of the community. And for this last way, I'd like to hand over to Gert Hope. Gert, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Olivier. You talked about the association of GAIA X. Core of the association is to take care of the federated services, which builds the logical glue between the data spaces of domains and user communities, and deals as a trust and connectivity layer to infrastructure providers who simplify their offering to these different domains by choosing GAIA X as an intermediate system. The development of the federated services will happen in a transparent and open source community under the guidance of the AISBL, the GAIA X Foundation, and the foundation will have to manage conforming access and operation of the GAIA X federated services. Think of somebody managing and organizing it, and at the same time having a bucket and a broom available to fix things. So the responsibilities or the set of core deliverables of this foundation is to create the standard, which is basically an architecture of standards, and develop test criteria. What is a compliant or conforming set of services or products that can claim the name and the benefit of GAIA X? It is easier to log on to the system and participate by the help of tokens or certificates, and using the application of test criteria by self-conformity declaration or by going to authorized certification labs. Also, to the fundamentals belongs the service catalog, a GAIA X-wide catalog where participants can be found, services can be found, and interfaces can be identified. Another role of the foundation is to foster software communities. We talked about any open source community to create and drive the federated services, but there are so many different communities around the globe and also in different domains which enjoy interaction with GAIA X as a consortia, and therefore this interaction will be organized. Last and not least is facilitating and growing the creation and population of data spaces by users and by communities. Example given through research programs or other actions in the market. Here you can see a graphic about what is the domain and the turf of the GAIA X Foundation. Structure was displayed a moment ago by Olivier, but you can see that the focus of the GAIA X Foundation is to drive the federation services in work packages. We chose green as a layer for the federation services, it is clear that user hubs and user domains in Europe and worldwide already have their existing standards, data spaces, apps and services. And GAIA X makes an offering to connect those, but does not create a mandate or authorizes changes in existing standards or communities. Of course, it is easier to go together, and the cross-sectional connecting of data is very intriguing because from public service, public administration through the mobile sector and these many other domains, it is very interesting to connect all those together. So be it in special interest groups on the right side, so the associations around the globe and in Europe, within one industry, cross industries, within a national community, Europe-wide, worldwide, they stay with what they have and seek and communicate an interest how to better connect through GAIA X. I think this is a really interesting view to what is coming. What we want to create with GAIA X is a federated services that has absence of conflicts when operated together with domain-specific standards and software packages. And of course, the GAIA X Foundation is eager to create liaison agreements to those user hubs and to those interest groups within one country, Europe-wide and worldwide, to regulate contributions and proposals. We would like to express that we seek for an orderly fashion to do that, and therefore contributions can be done under policy rules which are populated and communicated. There is a technical committee inside the foundation that takes care of certain aspects, and I have circled two columns in this technical committee which are specifically targeting to interact well with associations, hubs and communities. You can see there a community manager, actually a team, and people taking care of the community groups, and we have the association work group that interacts with associations around the globe inside the technical committee. Contributions proposed and functions proposed for the federated services go through an orderly architecture design request process, ADR. So there is not enough to know people. You can make a proposal and send them to Olivier or to me or to somebody else, you know, inside the GAIA X Foundation. But instead of relationships, we have to be fair and well organized, and therefore contributions go through the technical committee ADR process, and then the foundation selects and describes and specifies the list of features and their release timeline and priority through the process in the technical committee for the foundation services. That is it. This is what the AISBL has been doing so far and what we will continue to do. So stay tuned and wait for our interaction, or come to us and trigger our response in working together with all those who are now listening and have interest in GAIA X. Thank you.